Alright guys, we got these feeds tied in. I got that trencher again. I broke the son of a bitch twice. I fixed it the first time. The second time I limped through with a hydraulic leak. I was almost done. I was like, no. But the guy was cool. He only charged me half price. Anyway, so we tied in our 1-inchers. Those were over there. Let me show you what I did with that. We put this LED light up here. Man, it's awesome. That's an uplight for a high-rise building, and you're not supposed to mount it down because it's the bracket, but I made that shit work. So the cool thing is it only lights up, right by this driveway pretty much is where it stops. It's like it was designed for it. But it goes that way, and then it goes that way. And so it's not too piercing from the house, but it's bright as hell, like bright as hell. Yeah, that's all my scrap for the, yeah, Brian was here. He helped me. The neighbors take it, so here, have some scrap. Anyway, so here's what I pulled over here. It's not all tied in. I call this the fruit stripe line. What it is it's 2 sets of 3-ways. So you get your ground because it's in PVC. And then here's a set of 3-ways. And here's a set of 3-ways. Anyway, so those go to the house, and then I pulled all this low voltage. They both come in there. What I'm going to do is box out, like, probably over here. I'll just heat up some PVC and bend an offset and put my big splice box for the low voltage here. That's why it's first. And then my other one will probably come up to right there. So, anyway, so there's the 3-ways. I can turn these lights on and off from the shop. Is the that's the reasoning behind that. So we pulled the this is for the outdoor wood furnace. I pulled 2 circuits, one for the furnace and one for the building I'm going to build here, and then I finally was able to fill that in. There it is, 2 circuits. This is all 20 amp. We don't pull 14 amp number 14 wire for 20 amp circuits. I put that in there because when I do pour this pad, that's going to go around it, so any shifting, it won't rip stuff. It'll shift with it. Anyway, so I'm going to pour a pad here this spring, and that building is going to go there. I stacked this up again so it will settle over the winter. It already settled quite a bit, but I want it to settle more. Anyway, okay, propane tank. We moved that. All those trenches I had opened in the spring, that's what all this stuff was for. So, yeah, we moved that bad boy. So that's good. Behind the garage, out of the way. That regulator was a POS, so we got a new regulator. Boom. That's the high pressure regulator. I gotta get that chain before I leave. And here is the low pressure regulator. Brian and I did all this stuff under the house. We did 3/4 gas, like threaded it, all that. So there it is. From the back of that box, there's a 1-inch pipe. So I have for my condenser, that's all ran and beautiful and good. If you notice where I came out all along the side of this, and even on the other side, you'll see that in a minute, I came out below the siding because I am putting new siding on this, and I don't want that to look like shit at the end of it. So it's going to be easier, nice straight runs. You like my I bought that antenna from Walmart, and I just bent a piece of 1-inch pipe. It was sticking out of that pile of dirt before, but I figured I would class it up a bit. Anyway, so that's my cable. I used to get like 3 stations, now I get 26. But I don't even watch TV. Anyway, so all of these are tied in now. Let me show you that. I'll get the light. Yeah, Brian, I cleaned everything up. That mess we left. Brian was here for like 4 or 5 days. And we just worked. I'm like, well, I'll clean up later. Let's just keep going. There was that much stuff to do. Oh, yeah. Yard came in pretty good. I'll give you a better view of that in a little bit. Anyway, I also did a feed for the pool. And what I did was I just stuffed the end of it back into there because this isn't tied in yet, but I had the trencher, so I was going to trench it. And I drove that over that with my bucket truck. I was like, oh, I'll let it settle over the winter. I'm impatient, whatever. I just drove over it, and it definitely flattened it back out. So that's, anyway, so that's the other end of it. I will tie that in. I have till spring to do that, till the, and I'll probably put an outlet right there. I'll have this come into the back of a, bottom of a box and then into the back. Into this room, I got to get my light. Here, since I'm out here, I'm going to show you the side of this also. There used to be, I may or may not have, the first trip I was ever here, pulled up to this with the skid steer. And there may or may not have been ruts there ever since I bought this place. Tracy hated them. Hated them. I was like, oh, I'll get it. Anyway, there you go, babe. See how much I love you? All right, good. So, right here, that was where the propane tank was. There was an armadillo that lived under there. He is no longer with us. Lead poisoning, you know. Anyway, so 200 amp feed. Do you guys remember I used to have that really low wire going from there, and it attached to the house right there? I could touch that. I could touch that wire. Anyway, that was my old feed. That's how big that was. And I figured it out. That's number 6. I used to have a 60 amp feed here. Now I have 200. So, again, I stayed below the siding, so that won't be an issue when I go to side this. There's the LB. It's attached to that brick wall, or that concrete wall, and that's duct seal around it. Boom. So, but that was as low as I could get it. I may have to just horseshoe the siding, but it's not like I'm going to have to cut a big U out of it. Anyway, so I figured out what was on this pole. It's a bunch of shit we don't even need, man. So there's 2 masts on there. They had this thing so jerry-rigged, man. But the only pipe on there that's going to really stay is the one I put. But it's not even going to come into this box, so I made it nice and long. There's a 200 amp feed in there. Boom. 200 amp feed. Anyway, underground and shit, so that's awesome. And I ran that over with a bucket truck, too, to smash it down and planted seed. All this stuff doesn't need to be here. Power comes down into this, back up, and then into this, back through into that bullshit panel. This is a jerry-rig splice. This has all got to be redone, but not right now. My house has 200 amps, so I'm a happy camper. So let me show you the interior, what we did. Yeah, the HVAC is in. Those guys were pretty good. I'm glad I was here when they were here because I made them. I'll show you what I did. So, Brian and I did this, and we don't mess around, man. Like, if it ain't perfect and straight, it's not done yet. You know, I always say that. But it's true. I'm OCD about that shit. It's got to be right. Every single pipe in our crawl space. Here, I'll show you. All right, so yeah, babe, this house, I kind of tried to keep it clean. You might have a little bit of work to do when you get here. But, I mean, it's not bad, babe, so, you know, everything's groovy with that. All right, I'll show you where those pipes come in at. All right, turn on the damn light. Okay. All right, turn this on. You better work. Okay, cool. Anyway, so that's caulk because I ran out of duct seal. So that's low voltage. That doesn't need to be in pipe the whole way. So that's groovy. That one's kind of cocky. That's so straight. Anyway, but that's low voltage. That's ran all the way to my mechanical room. Let me get down here and show you guys what's up. Oh man, I never want to go under here again. Okay. So, that... Okay, so that is where that comes in at. See all that wire over there? Ding, ding, ding. That's for that other pipe that keeps going that way. Because that's 3 ways to the garage, okay? I have a 240 volt 30 amp circuit going to the garage. And those are 3 ways that are going to be piped in when we finish that pipe. It already goes, you know, it's